Ladies and gentlemen, listen closely, because what I'm about to say isn't just words. It's a truth that can change your life if you choose to act on it. Every single one of us carries something. Pain, regret, a betrayal, a memory of failure. Maybe it's that voice that says, you're not enough. Maybe it's the anger towards someone who wronged you. Maybe it's the guilt of what you didn't do, what you didn't say, or what you didn't become. And here's the truth: as long as you carry it, it owns you. It weighs you down. It steals your energy. It blocks your joy. And we pretend it doesn't. We smile, we laugh, but deep inside, that story is still running. But today, right now, you get to decide, do you keep carrying it or do you let it go? Because happiness isn't something you stumble upon. Happiness isn't waiting for you after next achievement, the next paycheck, the next relationship. Happiness is what happens when you release what's been poisoning your spirit. Think about it. A clenched fist can't receive anything new. A heart full of resentment can't fully love. A mind replaying old pain can't see new opportunities. You want freedom. You want joy. Then you have to unclench. You have to let it go. Some of you are thinking, but you don't know what they did to me. You don't know what I've been through. You're right. I don't. But I know this. See, if you keep letting the past define you, you've given your power away, and you deserve better than that. Forgiveness isn't about saying what they did was okay. Forgiveness is saying, I refuse to let this control my life for one more second. It's ripping the chains off your own hands. It's reclaiming your joy. So here's the challenge. What story do you need to set down today? What pain do you need to release? What memory do you need to stop replaying? Because the moment you let it go, you create space for something better. And when you let go, something beautiful happens. You reconnect with the real you, the joyful you, the unstoppable you, the version of you that laughs without reason, that loves without fear, that wakes up with energy, because the past no longer owns your tomorrow. So decide right now that you're done carrying the weight. Decide that you're going to drop the chains. Decide that your happiness isn't negotiable, because the moment you let it go, you don't just become lighter, you become free. Let it go and be happy. You can't be free while carrying the weight of your past. Release it to reclaim your happiness. Think about this for a moment, because most people live their entire lives chained to memories, regrets, and stories that no longer serve them, and they don't even realize it. It's like walking around with a heavy backpack filled with rocks you never chose, rocks of guilt, shame, disappointment, heartbreak, failure, anger. Every step you take is harder than it needs to be, not because life is impossible, but because you're weighed down by something you refuse to put down. Freedom isn't about what's happening around you. Freedom begins inside you. Freedom is when you decide that the past doesn't get to dictate your present. Freedom is when you choose to stop carrying what should have been left behind years ago. The truth is, most people confuse comfort with freedom. They think holding on to pain, holding on to the story of what happened, gives them control. But in reality, that's not control, that's bondage. When you replay the betrayal in your mind, you think you're protecting yourself from it happening again. But what you're really doing is living through it over and over, cutting yourself on the same blade every single day. That's not safety. That's self-inflicted suffering. The mind has this incredible way of tricking us, making us believe that if we keep holding on, somehow justice will come, or the story will finally make sense, or the pain will finally feel worth it. But it doesn't. It never does. The only way to win is to put it down, to release it, to let it go, so you can reclaim the energy, the focus, the clarity, and the joy that has always belonged to you. Every great transformation in life begins with a decision, and this decision is one of the most powerful you will ever make. The decision to no longer carry the story of who hurt you, who abandoned you, who disappointed you. The decision to no longer identify with the version of yourself that failed or was rejected. You are not what happened to you. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the pain that someone else left you with. You are more, but you cannot experience that more until you're willing to drop what's been weighing you down. Imagine standing in front of an open door that leads to everything you've ever wanted. Peace, love, joy, success, freedom. The only reason you can't walk through is because you're clinging to the baggage in your hands. All you have to do is put it down, and you're free to walk forward. When you release the weight of your past, you're not denying that it happened. You're not pretending it didn't hurt. You're simply refusing to let it own you anymore. You're refusing to let it define your identity or dictate your decisions. There's a difference between experiencing pain and becoming pain. Too many people live as if the hurt they went through is who they are. But you are not broken. You are not unworthy. You are not less than. That is a lie you've been carrying, and it's time to let it go. The past can be a teacher if you allow it, but It should never be a prison. You've learned the lessons, you've survived the storms, and you've proven you're stronger than you think. Now it's time to step out from under the shadow and into the light of your own freedom. Releasing the past doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you excuse what happened. It doesn't mean you forget. It means you care enough about yourself to move forward. It means you love yourself enough to stop dragging old pain into new days. It means you finally choose to give yourself the gift of peace. And here's the truth. You can't fake this. You can't just say, I've let it go, while still replaying it in your mind. True release is a decision of the heart. It's when you feel the urge to relive the story and instead you stop, you breathe. You remind yourself that your future is too important to be contaminated by old wounds. That choice, repeated day after day, creates a new reality. One where you no longer wake up with the heaviness of yesterday clinging to you, but instead you rise with a lightness that says, today is mine. The people who hurt you, the failures that shook you, the regrets that haunt you, they don't deserve to control you anymore. They don't deserve to rent space in your mind or steal the joy from your days. And the most powerful truth of all is this: they can't unless you allow it. You are the gatekeeper of your own peace. You decide what stays and what goes. And when you make the decision to release, to truly let go, it's like cutting the ropes that have held you to the ground. Suddenly you're lighter. Suddenly you see possibility where there was only pain. Suddenly you're able to laugh, to love, to dream again without the constant pull of old weight dragging you down. This is why letting go is not just an act, it's a declaration. It's saying to yourself, I deserve to be free. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to live unchained. It's standing up to the lies your mind has told you and choosing to believe in something greater. Because happiness doesn't come from a perfect past. It comes from a free present. And the only way to have a free present is to stop carrying the weight of what's already over. Your past has already taken enough from you. Don't give it your present too. Don't give it your joy, your energy, your peace, your smile. Release it. And in doing so, you reclaim everything that was always meant to be yours. Forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. It's the key to breaking your own chains. Most people misunderstand forgiveness. They think forgiving someone means excusing what they did, letting them off the hook, or pretending it never happened. That's why so many hold on to anger, resentment, and bitterness, because in their minds, forgiveness equals weakness. But the truth is, forgiveness is the ultimate act of strength. It's not about the other person at all. It's not about making them feel better or giving them permission to hurt you again. Forgiveness is about reclaiming your power, about choosing not to let someone else's actions control your emotions, your thoughts, and your life any longer. Think about the times you've replayed a moment in your mind, the times you've laid awake at night reliving the betrayal, the disappointment, the words that cut deep. Every replay, every mental movie is costing you energy. It's draining you, robbing you of peace in the present moment. You might think you're punishing the other person by holding on to anger, but the reality is they may not even be thinking about you. They might have moved on, forgotten, or justified what they did. Meanwhile, you're the one locked in the prison of resentment. Forgiveness isn't opening the cell door for them, it's opening it for yourself. It's deciding you won't spend another day behind bars built from someone else's actions. There's a story people tell themselves: if I forgive, I'm weak. If I forgive, I lose. But forgiveness is not losing. It's winning. It's winning back your happiness, your peace, your freedom. Carrying anger is like holding on to burning coals and hoping the other person gets burned. The only one blistering is you. That fire doesn't punish them, it consumes you. And every day you carry it, you rob yourself of joy, of laughter, of energy you could be using to build something better. The person who hurt you may have taken something in that moment, but when you choose not to forgive, you let them take more days, months, even years of your life. Forgiveness is how you take it back. It's easy to say, but you don't understand what they did. It's unforgivable. Maybe it was betrayal, abuse, abandonment, cruelty. I don't need to know the details to know this truth. Whatever happened, it already happened. It's over. It cannot be undone. Holding on to it won't make it right. It won't change the past. It won't deliver justice. All it does is keep you chained to a moment you desperately want to move beyond. Forgiveness is not saying it was okay. Forgiveness is saying it was not okay, but I will not let it control me anymore. It's taking back ownership of your heart. It's saying, you don't get to live here rent-free anymore. I'm evicting you from my spirit. That's what forgiveness does. It clears out the poison so you can heal when you forgive. You're not erasing memory. You're erasing the emotional charge that comes with it. You'll still remember what happened, but the memory won't own you anymore. It becomes a fact, not a wound. It becomes a chapter, not the whole book. It becomes something you can look at without shaking inside. That's the liberation forgiveness brings. It's a clean slate in your own mind, and it's powerful because when you let go of resentment, you make space for joy. When you let go of bitterness, you make space for love. When you let go of the story of how someone hurt you, you make space to write a new story of how you rise, how you thrive, how you live unchained. Forgiveness is also not a one-time event. It's a practice. You may forgive and then feel the sting resurface when you remember again. That's normal. Forgiveness is a choice you make over and over until the sting fades, until the grip loosens, until the memory loses its power. It's like untying knots. Some are tight and take time, but with patience and persistence, every knot can be undone. And with every knot you untee, you breathe easier, you feel lighter, you live freer. This is why forgiveness is not a gift to the other person. It's the most precious gift you give to yourself. The gift of release, the gift of peace, the gift of freedom. People often think justice will bring them peace, but justice doesn't always come the way you want it to. Some people never apologize. Some people never admit they were wrong. Some people never change. If you wait for them to make it right, you'll be waiting forever. Forgiveness says, even if you never admit it, I will not carry this anymore. That's power. That's strength. That's refusing to let someone else dictate your emotional state for the rest of your life. Forgiveness is the declaration that your happiness is not in anyone else's hands. It belongs to you, and only you can decide when to take it back. And here's something important. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. You can forgive and still create boundaries. You can forgive and still choose not to let that person back into your life. You can forgive and still protect yourself. Forgiveness is internal. It's about cleaning your own heart. Reconciliation is external, and that's a separate decision. Too many people think forgiving means returning to the same toxic relationship, the same destructive patterns, but that's not what this is about. Forgiveness is freedom, not foolishness. It's choosing to release, not choosing to repeat. It's saying, I release you, but I also release myself from needing you. That's how you step into power. When you finally forgive, you feel the difference immediately. It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders, like chains breaking from your wrists, like a deep breath you didn't even know you were holding. And suddenly you realize this is what freedom feels like. This is what it feels like to live without the constant background noise of resentment. This is what it feels like to wake up lighter, to smile without forcing it, to feel peace in the quiet moments. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it changes the way you live today. And when today is lighter, freer, and happier, tomorrow opens up with new possibilities you couldn't see before. Happiness is not in the future. It begins the moment you let go of what no longer serves you. Most people live their lives chasing a moving target called happiness, believing it will finally arrive when they land the job, make the money, meet the right person, or achieve the dream they've been holding in their hearts. They create a conditional formula. When I get there, then I'll be happy. But that formula is a trap because the finish line keeps moving. You achieve one goal and the mind immediately sets another. You solve one problem and another rises to take its place. If you keep postponing happiness until circumstances are perfect, you'll never truly experience it because life will always present a new challenge. Real happiness doesn't come from waiting for the future to finally line up the way you imagined it. Real happiness begins in the present moment. The moment you release what no longer adds value, what no longer lifts you, what no longer serves your soul. The truth is most of us are carrying things that block happiness without even realizing it. Old stories we tell ourselves about who we are and what we deserve. Limiting beliefs planted by other people that say we're not enough, not worthy, not capable. Emotional baggage from broken relationships, disappointments, betrayals. We drag these things into every new day, every new opportunity, every new relationship. And then we wonder why happiness feels out of reach. It's not because happiness is far away. It's because the weight of what you're carrying keeps you from seeing it's already here. Happiness isn't something you discover in the future. It's something you uncover when you remove the layers of pain, resentment, fear, and self-doubt that cover it up. Letting go of what doesn't serve you isn't always easy, but it is necessary. Think about holding on to something sharp. The longer you grip it, the deeper it cuts, and the more it hurts. Yet so many people would rather keep holding on to pain than open their hand and release it. They think holding on keeps them safe, keeps them in control, keeps them prepared. But the reality is holding on is the very thing causing the suffering. When you let go, you're not losing anything of real value. You're simply making space for something better. You're clearing the clutter so joy can enter. You're opening your hand so life can finally place something new in it. That's why happiness starts now, not later. Because the moment you decide to drop what's weighing you down, you create room for peace, love, and joy to flow in. Some people wait their entire lives for happiness, and they miss it because they're always looking forward instead of looking inward. They tell themselves, I'll be happy when I make more money, when I lose the weight, when I buy the house, when I find the one. But every time they arrive, they discover it wasn't enough, and the cycle begins again. That's because happiness isn't a destination. It's a decision. It's a way of being. It's the choice to say, I am enough. This moment is enough. I can be happy here and now, regardless of circumstances. And the key to making that choice is letting go of the lies that tell you happiness is somewhere else, sometime else, in someone else's hands. The moment you release those lies, you claim your power to be happy now. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring or stop striving. It doesn't mean you settle for less than you deserve. It means you stop clinging to the things that drain your spirit and blind you to what's already good in your life. It means releasing the constant comparison to others that tells you you're behind. It means letting go of the resentment that replays old pain on a loop in your mind. It means forgiving yourself for mistakes so you can move forward without guilt weighing you down. Happiness blooms in the space where forgiveness, acceptance, and gratitude live. And gratitude is one of the fastest ways to access happiness in the present moment. You cannot be grateful and miserable at the same time. The act of focusing on what's good right now transforms your energy, your outlook, and your experience of life. There's a reason children are so naturally happy. They live in the moment. They don't carry yesterday's pain into today's play. They don't obsess over tomorrow's worries. They are present. They let go quickly. One moment they're crying, the next they're laughing, because they haven't yet learned to chain themselves to old stories. We as adults forget how to do this. We rehearse pain, replay mistakes, and project fears onto the future. But the truth is, happiness has always been a natural state. It's not about adding more, it's about removing what blocks it. It's not about chasing, it's about returning to the simplicity of being fully here, fully alive, fully open to the joy in front of us. The mind loves to complicate happiness. It convinces you that you need 10 steps, 5 strategies, or a perfect plan to finally feel at peace. But happiness isn't complicated. It's as simple as noticing the beauty in a sunrise, feeling gratitude for the breath in your lungs, choosing to smile at a stranger, laughing at something silly, appreciating the little victories. Happiness isn't hidden. It's available in every moment, but only if you're willing to let go of the noise that drowns it out. The stress, the fear, the comparison, the anger, all of these are thieves of joy. And every time you let one of them go, you reclaim a piece of happiness that was always yours. Think of happiness as a fire inside you. It never truly goes out, but it can be buried under ashes. Those ashes are the things you need to release: the toxic relationship, the fear of failure, the resentment towards someone who hurt you, the belief that you're not enough. When you brush away the ashes, the fire glows again. When you let go of what no longer serves you, the flame of happiness grows brighter, warmer, stronger. And that fire is what lights up not only your life, but also the lives of everyone around you. Because happiness is contagious. When you choose to live free, to live light, to live joyful in this moment, you give permission to others to do the same. The moment you stop chasing happiness and start creating it by letting go, everything changes. You don't have to wait for the future. You don't have to wait for the perfect circumstances. You don't have to wait for someone else to make it right. You hold the key and the lock is inside you. It opens the second you choose to release the baggage you've been carrying, the second you decide the past doesn't define you, the second you recognize that happiness isn't something you earn. It's something you allow. And you allow it by letting go of everything that keeps you from feeling it right now. A clenched fist can't receive anything new. Open up, let go, and allow joy to flow in. Picture yourself holding your fist tightly closed around something old, something heavy, something sharp. Maybe it's anger, maybe it's fear, maybe it's regret, maybe it's a story you've told yourself for so long that you've come to believe it's who you are. The tighter you hold it, the more it hurts, the more it drains you, and the more it blinds you to what's possible. And yet, you refuse to release it because it's somewhere deep down you think if you hold on long enough, it will protect you, it will give you power, or it will somehow change the past. But it never does. All it does is keep your hand closed, keep your heart closed, keep your life closed to the very things you say you want. You cannot receive love, peace, or joy with a closed fist. You cannot receive opportunity, growth, Or healing, if your hands are already full of yesterday's pain, life is constantly trying to give you new experiences, new chances, new lessons, and new beginnings, but you can't catch them if your hands are already occupied. Too many people spend their whole lives missing out on what's available right now because they're clutching the past so tightly. They grip old wounds, old mistakes, old fears like trophies, and then wonder why they can't move forward. Imagine someone trying to hand you a gift, something priceless, something that could change your life, but your hands are already clamped shut around something worthless. Until you open up, until you let go, that gift can't reach you. Happiness, peace, and joy are gifts that flow only into open hands, open hearts, and open minds. Letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. A clenched fist looks strong, but it's actually a symbol of fear. Fear that if you release, you'll lose. Fear that if you stop holding on, you'll fall apart. Fear that if you forgive, if you move forward, if you open up, you'll get hurt again. But strength is not in the grip, it's in the release. It's easy to cling to pain because it's familiar. It's harder to open up to the unknown. That's where transformation lies. A clenched fist is about control. An open hand is about trust. And when you trust life, when you trust yourself, when you trust that you are worthy of joy, you create space for miracles to show up. Think about how much energy it takes to clench your fist tightly for a long period of time. Your muscles strain, your hand tires, and eventually your whole arm feels exhausted. Now imagine holding on to emotional baggage the same way, day after day, year after year. It's exhausting, it's draining, and yet so many people don't even realize that's why they're tired, why they feel heavy, why they feel stuck. They think life is unfair or happiness is impossible, when in truth, they're simply wasting all their energy clenching instead of receiving. The moment you open your hand, you feel relief. The moment you let go, the tension leaves. And in that moment, life can finally flow again. Opening up is also about vulnerability. A clenched fist is defensive. It's ready to fight, ready to protect, ready to guard against the world. But you cannot fight your way into peace. You cannot guard your way into joy. You cannot defend your way into love. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's the doorway to connection, to growth, to fulfillment. When you open your hand, you signal to life that you're ready to heal, ready to grow, ready to experience something new. Yes, it feels scary at first. Yes, it feels uncertain. But it's in that openness that the beauty of life rushes in. You can't drink from a closed cup. You can't breathe with closed lungs. You can't live fully with a closed heart. So many people cling to scarcity, believing there's not enough joy, not enough love, not enough opportunity to go around. They clutch tightly to what little they have, terrified to release it. But life is abundant, overflowing, limitless. The more you open up, the more flows in. The more you let go, the more room there is for something greater. Imagine trying to pour fresh water into a cup already filled with stale, dirty water. If you never pour it out, you'll never taste the freshness. Joy is like that. If you don't let go of bitterness, resentment, and fear, you'll never fully taste happiness. The flow is waiting, but you have to open up to receive it. Think about relationships. If you cling to old pain from past betrayals, how can you truly open up to love again? If you grip tightly to the story that everyone will hurt you, you block yourself from connection. If you clutch resentment against people who wronged you, you rob yourself of peace in the present. Your clenched fist might feel like protection, but it's actually isolation. The walls you build to keep pain out also keep joy out. And the only way to break free is to open up, to risk, to allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to let love in again. Love cannot enter a closed heart. Joy cannot flow into a closed spirit. Happiness cannot land in closed hands. The same is true with opportunities. If you hold on to the identity of failure, if you cling to the belief that you're not capable, if you grip fear so tightly you never take a chance, how can opportunity ever reach you? The universe, life, whatever you believe in, is constantly offering doors, but if your hands are locked around the past, you never have the courage to turn the knob. Releasing the grip is not the end. It's the beginning. It's saying, I'm ready to receive. I'm ready for new doors, new chances, new blessings. And when you open up like that, life meets you halfway. Joy flows in openness. Joy flows in presence. Joy flows when you are willing to stop clenching, stop gripping, stop holding on to what's been hurting you. You can't catch the wind with a closed hand. You can't embrace someone you love with closed arms. You can't grow when you refuse to release. Joy is not manufactured. It's allowed. It's always around you, always within you. But it's blocked by the tightness of fear, pain, and resistance. The more you open, the more you experience what was already waiting. That's why letting go isn't loss. It's gain. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. It's not defeat. It's victory. It's the act of choosing freedom over bondage, lightness over heaviness, flow over resistance. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Choose freedom. Choose happiness. Too often people walk through life chained to what happened years ago, carrying stories of mistakes, failures, heartbreaks, and disappointments as though they define who they are forever. They live as if every wrong turn, every rejection, every betrayal carved their destiny in stone. But the truth is, your past was never meant to be a prison, it was meant to be a teacher. Every experience, no matter how painful, carries a lesson, and once that lesson is learned, you're meant to move forward lighter, wiser, freer. The problem is, most people never allow themselves to move beyond the lesson. They replay the pain, rehearse the failure, re-experience the heartbreak again and again until it becomes part of their identity. They say things like, I'm the kind of person who always messes up, or I'm not good enough because of what happened to me. And in doing so, they transform temporary moments into permanent chains. Your past does not define you unless you choose to let it. It shaped you, it tested you, it taught you, but it does not own you. The only power it has is the power you give it. Think about how many people let one failure stop them from trying again. How many let one broken relationship convince them they're unworthy of love? How many let one mistake create a lifelong story of shame? The past cannot hurt you unless you invite it into your present. Every time you tell yourself the story of your pain as if it's who you are, you lock yourself into a cell that never really existed. The door has always been open, but you refuse to walk through because you believe the prison is real. Freedom begins the moment you realize the past was never meant to hold you. It was meant to guide you. Lessons are gifts, but only if you choose to see them that way. Failure teaches resilience. Heartbreak teaches self-worth. Betrayal teaches discernment. Mistakes teach humility and growth. When you stop seeing the past as punishment and start seeing it as preparation, everything changes. What you thought broke you was actually shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling the future. The people who thrive in life are not those who had no setbacks, but those who refuse to let setbacks become their identity. They took the lesson, released the pain, and kept moving forward. That is the difference between being imprisoned by the past and being empowered by it. The challenge is that the mind loves to cling to stories. It replays what went wrong in an attempt to protect you from it happening again. It says, remember this pain so you don't repeat it. But instead of protecting you, it keeps you living in fear, never risking, never opening, never growing. The lesson is not meant to keep you stuck. The lesson is meant to set you free. You don't need to relive the moment forever to honor the lesson. You can acknowledge it, learn from it, and let it go. The scar is proof of your survival, not a reason to stay wounded. Every scar says, I endured, I overcame, I lived. But if you keep reopening the wound, you never allow healing to complete. Choosing freedom means deciding the wound is closed, the lesson is learned, and you are ready to live again. There is incredible power in reframing the past. When you look back at what you've been through, you can choose to see yourself as a victim or as a survivor, as someone broken or someone built stronger. Two people can go through the same storm. One comes out crushed, the other comes out determined. The difference isn't in what happened. The difference is in the meaning they gave it. If you believe your past defined your limits, you'll stay small. If you believe your past defined your strength, you'll expand beyond anything you thought possible. Meaning creates reality, and you are always the one assigning meaning to your past. You can make it a prison or a lesson, but only one of those choices leads to freedom. Choosing happiness doesn't mean erasing what happened. It means refusing to let what happened erase your future. Happiness is a choice you make when you stop saying, because of my past, I can't, and start saying, because of my past, I will. Because of my past, I am stronger. Because of my past, I am wiser. Because of my past, I know what I deserve. Because of my past, I am prepared for the future. That shift in perspective turns every painful moment into fuel instead of shackles. It transforms the same memories from chains, holding you down into wings, lifting you higher. And the beautiful thing is, the choice has always been yours. You can't change what happened, but you can always change how you carry it. Sometimes the hardest part of moving forward is forgiving yourself. Many people carry guilt, regret, and shame for decisions they made, chances they missed, or words they never said. They punish themselves daily, believing they must carry the weight forever as payment. But that's not how life works. Your past mistakes don't make you unworthy, they make you human. And just like you would forgive a child learning to walk for falling down, you must forgive yourself for stumbling as you learn to live. Every mistake was part of the journey of growth. Every regret is simply evidence that you now know better. Self-forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to freedom, because until you release yourself from your own judgment, you will never allow yourself to experience joy. Fully letting go of the past is not about forgetting. It's about choosing what you carry forward. You can carry the pain, or you can carry the wisdom. You can carry the resentment, or you can carry the strength. One weighs you down, the other lifts you up. The past will always be a part of your story, but it doesn't have to be the part that holds the pen. You hold the pen. Every new day is a blank page, and you get to decide whether you keep rewriting the same old chapter or whether you start something new. Choosing freedom means choosing to write a new story, one where your past is acknowledged but not worshipped, one where your mistakes are remembered but not repeated, one where your scars are honored but no longer limit your movement. Your past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. It may have hurt you, but it also taught you. It may have knocked you down, but it also gave you the chance to rise. You are not the sum of your worst days. You are the strength that pulled you through them. You are not the brokenness of your past. You are the resilience that carried you forward. Every lesson has made you who you are today, and who you are today has the power to choose happiness, to choose freedom, to choose to live unchained by what came before.